Hello, my name is Matthew H. Jones, and today I'll be reading an excerpt from my novel Year of the Brute. Chapter 1. I stood on the train, weeping because I had to go to work. People asked whether I was okay, and I replied no, I wasn't okay. I had to go to work. They told me there was nothing they could do for me, and continued reading their newspapers and electric books. I fumbled in my bag for painkillers, hoping there'd be enough left to kill me. I rummaged some more, but it appeared I'd left the bottle at home. I stared at the ceiling and spied a handrail from which I could hang myself, but didn't have a length of rope to hand. Shoelaces were out of the question. It was pouring outside, and I needed my shoes tightly tied to keep out the terrible rain. Might a bag strap take my weight? Unsurprisingly, today's commute had been unutterably awful. Having squeezed myself into an already heaving train carriage, someone had breezily wedged themselves in behind me and said, "Room for a small one?" as if this terrible ordeal was somehow a laughing matter. I was pressed against a backpack seemingly filled with nails and jagged metal, and my face swung back and forth, pertinently focused on nothing. I saw an advertisement for a vitamin supplement that promised to make life marginally less miserable because it contained a multitude of unpronounceable and possibly made-up chemical compounds. Beside that, a company advertised a new flavour of dust, which, when taken in conjunction with a heart-punishing exercise regime, caused your muscles to become lean and toned like a gladiator. A third advert pitied me and advised I found a wife using a computer, but I dismissed their assertion that most romantic relationships were cultivated online these days as a fanciful myth from the future. People around me sucked coffee from highly technical flasks, and my brain felt sluggish and dim because I'd had no caffeine this morning. There was a machine at work that produced coffee if you knew the correct buttons to press, but I didn't. Often I watched people twisting the handles and activating the bean grinder, but felt too foolish asking how it worked because only an idiot would have foregone coffee for 5 years simply to avoid the embarrassment of having to ask for help. People said I should be grateful to be in work in the current climate, but they didn't work where I worked, and if they did, they'd not be so simpering in their praise of my employers. My wages enabled me to afford shopping, but the shopping made me fat and unhappy. I'd eaten 2 rolls this morning, both stuffed with fried pork and mayonnaise, and still I wasn't full. I hated my mother and father for making me like this, but thankfully they were both dead, killed by age and disease while I frittered away my inheritance on salmon and scratch cards.